we're back in the new year. I've been thrown straight in at the deep end. It's like we never left. So I'm on a chassis leg job. We do quite a few of these, really common on these Evos. I'll show you where they rot, basically. See there, where the metal's blown out, like that. So there, where that is, there's 3 or 4 layers of steel. Moisture gets in between them all, they all start delaminating, rusting, and it basically rusts from the outside, from the inside out. So this car, what we're doing is 2 brand new chassis legs and a cross member. So first thing first, strip the car, strip the interior, drop the diff, subframe, fuel tank, and then we go from there. So do you want to have a little, oh, there's that bit there as well. So we strip out the interior of the car, the boot and the rear seat area. So if you have a little peek in here, you'll see spot welds. Now this is where the chassis leg's welded to the car. So it runs from the back of the boot all the way up, along, down there, and then you've got a cross member that runs across, and then back on that side, and then down underneath the rear seats, and that's where our new chassis legs will join in. So the car is stripped down. You see the bumpers off, rear lights are out, boot stripped, subframes, fuel tank. And so now we're just drilling out spot welds in the boot, as you can see. It's just the beginning, but so just 2 skins there, so it's not too bad. But a bit further on, you've got quite a few to get through, and that's when it really starts to hurt. But yeah, getting there. You need to scrape all the underseal, or sealer, sorry, from all the joins to expose the other spot welds along that edge, and then we'll go from the wheel arch, drill through, and then carry on underneath the car. Okay, so this is the chassis legs, Mitsubishi part, OEM part. So the nice quality. We're not actually going to be using the full length, so we make a join around here, and that's where we'll be joining them. We won't be using this piece, just because that bit's fairly complicated and many more hours would be needed to fit those, and on the car that area is good, so we don't need that. This is the cross member that just sits under there like that, underneath the car, and where you just saw me drilling out the spot welds in the boot is this area here. So these run to the back of the car. Back of the car's here. So yeah, just working our way down, and then we'll get the old ones out and put the new ones in. Okay, so update on the chassis leg job. Old chassis legs are out, so if you have a look, you can see where all the holes are. We've drilled all the spot welds out. You can see there's many holes to drill, so it does take it out of you a bit. But it's good, it needed doing. This is where we join them, along here, so they'll be seam welded along there. Then the rest will all be plug welded where we've drilled the holes. And whilst we're there, we'll treat any corrosion that's underneath the chassis legs like this. Try and clean that off and treat it up before we put the new ones up. And then once the new ones are up and welded in, they'll get a nice cavity wax anyway. Prolong the life of the new chassis legs. Okay, so we're back a few days later. The chassis legs are in, they're all welded up. The majority of it is plug welds from where we've drilled the spot welds out of the original, other than where we join the legs to the old one. So it takes quite a lot of heat. It's thick old metal there. I tend to leave the weld on show. You know, it's not a bad thing that they've been done. People can see it's been done, and it's just a lot stronger, you know, than grinding them back to nothing and risking them cracking, etc. So yeah, so next steps are a bit of underseal. Well, all be cleaned up first, prepped, undersealed, and then the whole car's going to get a coat of wax after some other little rectification bits. So like the chassis rails at the front, they've been crushed from jacking damage, so they're going to be pulled out, corrected, and then yeah, we'll get under and protect the body with a nice wax product. Okay, so last time you saw, the chassis legs were in. I've been grinding the welds, seam sealing, masking for the wax job, and then meanwhile checking the fuel tank, because the car looks like it's been sat for a while at some point, so just check the fuel tank, check it's not corroded on the inside. Day 689 of chassis legs and welding and waxing. So the car's been waxed. I've just finished it about an hour ago, so still pretty wet. The customer did want the front of the seals repaired, so those have been patched up and repaired. The chassis rails have been straightened out as best we could without taking all the interior out and carpet out. It's a good level to be at, and it should keep the car protected for years and years to come, which with these sorts of cars now is what you want to be doing, because they're only going up in value. So next we just got to build the car back up. A few new parts have arrived for it, a drive shaft and a hub. It's maybe sensors and bits and bobs. So I'm going to start with fitting the interior whilst this is all going off, so I can lower it right down and I won't be near it, so that's the plan. So since the last clip, I've been rebuilding the car. So fuel tank's in, the rear subframe, all the arms, diff, drive shafts, new wheel bearing and drive shaft on this side, as well as a hub, because the old one was so seized we couldn't separate them without seriously damaging them. So those are the new parts. Just got the handbrake shoes to put on, the discs, the calipers, the prop, the exhaust, and then we'll get it geoed. Well, get it filled with fluids, geoed, and then there's a little electrical issue that he's looking into. And then it will full clean inside and out, ready for the customer to pick up. Okay, so the TME chassis leg job's finished. It's just waiting to be cleaned off, just inside and out, full valet, and then ready for the customer to collect. So just to go over what we've done. Chassis legs and cross member have been replaced. Whilst everything's been off the car, the rear end of the car, we've waxed the whole underside. If you know Japanese cars, you'll know that a lot of the imports that you get in are absolutely caked in black wax, including all the components, the arms, just everything. Doing it this way with the rear end down, exhaust off, prop off and everything, you can just protect the body, which means you put the components back on, they're clean, the car can be worked on easy, you don't get your sockets clogged up, all of that sort of stuff. So it's a lot nicer way to do it if you don't want to go for a full restoration. You know, it's going to protect your car for a lot longer period of time than leaving it as it was. We straightened out the sill rails, chassis rails, as best we could without disrupting the floor pan and lifting the carpets up and everything else. So just made it more presentable basically. A few sill repairs at the front, and then yeah, all been bolted back together. A few little electrical issues that have been looked into, window switches and engine warning lights, stuff like that. But yeah, if you're interested in a job like this, look after your car, especially an investment like this. They're getting rarer and rarer, especially ones in good condition, so best to get them protected. But yeah, contact us, link will be in the description.